by Neutral Voices Media Group. In the Know.
Welcome to In the Know, presented by Our Neutral Voices. I'm your host, C. Stats, and we have a guest in the building, and we're going to learn and get in the know with her. But before we get started, this is my first week back. I wasn't here last week. I was under the weather, but I'm glad to be back. How's everybody doing?
We missed you.
Welcome
It's
back.
good to be missed.
Welcome back.
And we have with us this evening Dr. Yiniki Moore. Doctor, tell us about yourself and introduce yourself to the people.
Good evening. To God be the glory. My name is Dr. Yiniki Moore. I have my own business called YinikiSomethingUnique LLC. I like to say I'm a Jill of all trades. The basis of it is commercial and residential cleaning. I also do food prep. I also do locks. I interlock locks. I praise dance. I flag dance. I mime dance. Also do some wedding coordinating and some personal assistant things.
Oh, wow. You are a Jill of all trades.
I-
Man, where do you find time? That sounded right. Y'all remember that skit on A Living Color? I have 15 jobs.
That's me.
Wow.
Stay busy. Now,
Yeah.
how did you get into this entrepreneurial experience?
Honestly, being a single mom, I just couldn't always do like the shifts that they have already, and I needed to be home with my teenager in the evening, but I also needed to make money. So it just kind of happened for me. The job thing wasn't working out for me, and so I just started to kind of use the gifts that God had given me, which was to keep things in order and keep things clean. And from that, a business was produced.
Oh, I hear that. And how's business going?
It's amazing. Working for myself and having my own freedom of time is everything.
That's something we tell, working for somebody is, different. But when you work for yourself,
Yes.
you don't have to punch a clock. You can do it, and it does not take, too many of us, when we start a business, we think we have to be an expert already before we go into the business.
True.
We can take something we love
That's right.
and turn it into a business. Now, tell us, you said being at home with your children, but give us a little background of Dr. Yiniki, and we're going to get to how you became a doctor, but give us a story about before Dr. Yiniki and the business and what drove you and how you got started.
I've always had a passion for serving and helping people. As a little girl, my grandmother was real strict on cleaning, and my mother was very orderly. I had 2 more siblings. When I was 16, my mom had 2 more kids. So I turned from the oldest child to almost the husband, so to speak, because I had to step into some roles that my mom just really needed support in, having 2 children that were a year apart. So it kind of started there, and then I was taught through my apostle that the best businesses and the best dreams are produced out of a passion or a lack of something you may have had when you were younger.
Right.
And it just was never enough help around. For my mom, even for me, once I became a single mother, my daughter was very well obedient. She got good grades in school. It didn't cause me any problems, but hey, I still needed to make money and I still needed to be at home. So it just kind of, just out of the passion of wanting to continue to serve people and be in spaces that people were not in for me, it just came from that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Go ahead,
Listen, so saying all of that, I just want to make sure. So you were at home. Were you doing homeschool for the children? Or when you say you were at home, talk to me about that.
Well, I know a lot of us that are older, we understand the watch your siblings like our parents used to do when we were coming up. And that was big in our household. And when my mom had 2 kids a year apart, she had a husband and a husband that was working, to be honest. But it was the home things that needed to be taken care of. The changing the diapers, the bottles, the, feedings, those things. And my mom also worked outside the home to the point where her husband asked her to be an at-home mom because it just was too much to handle at home. So when I meant at home, I'm in the dynamics of being in the Black home, so to speak, because we just had a different level to our home life. And I know you guys can kind of understand that more because I'm 49. So this generation don't really understand what I'm talking about, but I know you guys do as far as being that support system at home for your parents.
I was the youngest, so.
Well, you were getting taken care of, for sure.
I was the youngest.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
ain't had to take care of nobody.
Spoil. Yeah.
So what were the challenges in starting a business and being at home? And did you have to go out and get any type of classes, attend any, I'll say financial, training classes so that you understood the behind the scene, the skeletal system of the business.
Of course.
So what does
People
that look
want
like?
you to think that, but I'm a firm believer of using the gifts that God has given me. My Bible says that my gifts will make room for me. So what I literally did was took what God gave me and went. There were people that needed a cleaner that didn't have the Medicaid to get the cleaner or even the finances. So I'm not going to lie, I did a lot of things just for free, just to show that my intent of I'm going to be excellent with or without the money. And here in a city as small as Fort Wayne, that went far for me. So people started to be like, hey, she will take care of you like you're paying her. And then that turned into paying jobs because my gift was making room for me. It was manifesting.
I love that. And
I
you know,
like
a
that
lot
too.
of times people are afraid to volunteer, but what you said, when you say your gift makes room for you, it made room for you. I've been in that position where I volunteered for a season, wasn't looking for anything, not looking for any pay, but when somebody recognizes your gift and what you're bringing to the table,
For sure.
then the
For
rest will
sure.
follow, right?
That's for sure. And that's actually how I got into my honorary doctorate. And a lot of people have to go to school for that, but I have an honorary doctorate for my excellent service in the community. I was mentoring young ladies that were locked up in jail for MOPAC through the Allen County juvenile system. I was also the worship coordinator for Aldersgate Methodist Church. I was also doing some dance coaching for some girls here in the city. So serving is my me-tron, it's my everything. If I'm not serving, I'm not myself. But most people want to be served, right? But the blessing is in the serving.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. I need
I
to jump in
love
there
that.
real
I
quick.
love it.
So this is my little cousin, and when she's talking about her grandmother, my grandmother told me years ago that people will always remember you for your service. And I tell people all the time, you know, I don't have a talent, I don't know how to sing or play an instrument, but I feel like my gift and my talent is my service to people.
Yes.
And my service has taken me so far, shown me so many different things, and that's just the way our grandmother, she instilled that in us. So I know her journey, obviously, because I've known her all her life, but that was just our grandmother's thing, service.
Beautiful.
Yes, and I think too many times, even today, that, you know, service has become hard for people.
Yes.
Now, when you say you did it for free, and that's the hardest part for me trying to survive, or me trying to me giving away free time is really hard.
Yes.
But again, you said the reward comes from the service, and
Yes.
Doc V attested to that. Once you put something out, you know,
Yeah.
it comes back on you.
Yeah.
Now, even in business, how long have you been in business?
I want to say it's been at least 10 years.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you've seen the highs, the lows, the ups,
definitely.
the downs. And, you know,
Definitely.
so, a young person right now, maybe high school, maybe just getting out of high school, college, trying to figure out their life, and they have a skill set or they have an understanding, how would you encourage them to cultivate that skill set, that mindset, that service into something? You know, one thing is we gatekeep plans. We don't tell people
Definitely.
how we
Definitely
got
do.
this. So
Definitely
give
do.
somebody a roadmap of how.
Again, mentoring is big for me. Rubbing elbows with people is really special. I worked alongside of a party coordinator for 5 years. I didn't know what I was doing. She did everything by hand, but just rubbing elbows with her and being available, she was able to pour into me, and I was able to gain some skills from her to carry on to something else. So I would encourage younger people to get with people that are doing the things that they want to do, that they're interested in doing, but most importantly, people that are passionate about them. Nobody wants to be tolerated. Everybody wants to be celebrated. So don't go and get someone and want to rub elbows with a person that you know don't like kids. And that's a real thing.
That's a real
I know
thing.
they say it nowadays, forget
real
them
thing.
kids,
That's a real
but you know,
thing.
that is a real thing where some people just don't like kids. So I would encourage them to get with someone who's first of all passionate about them, and then secondly doing things that they want to do, and just rub elbows and be around.
Yeah, right.
Clarence, don't talk about it.
I won't.
Yeah, you got someone that don't like kids.
I won't.
And
Moving
but yeah, so I love that. So you name so many things that you do, you know, and you hear people say you jack of trades and the master of none. I heard somebody else recently say the jack of all trades and the master of many. And I'm like, I think that might be you. So of all the things you do, Do you have a favorite thing? And you know, they used to say, what would you do free? That's how you know what that thing
You
is,
digging deep,
right?
Miss V. You digging deep. I will say I don't have a husband, and my daughter's 24, and she's been out since she went to college. And what really happened is I just have a lot of time on my hands. And an idle mind is definitely the devil's playground.
Yes.
So for me, my favorite thing is serving. When I know I'm making a difference in somebody's life and I'm taking something off of a plate, especially a queen's plate. We as Black women, we carry so much and a lot of things people are not even aware of. So when I go home at night, I'm getting goosebumps talking about it now, and I know that I took something off of somebody's plate and made a difference. That's everything for me.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Because I had no one to do those things for me. When I say I fought for everything, my grandmother was a fighter, my mother was a fighter, my aunties were fighters. But you ain't always got to fight, though. You ain't always got to fight. Thank God for the ones that survived, but we're supposed to make it easier for the ones coming behind us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Woo, the show is over.
Yeah. Burdens are easy when it's shared.
love
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
But you talked about the love for children.
Yes.
You know, and I think
Yes.
I think that's where a lot of our children go astray.
Yeah.
Because we don't have that impactual love or that tolerance, you know, not just, you know, tolerate, but the tolerance to have them around us, to be around them.
Yeah.
Now, it takes a special person.
It does.
Now, for our young people, what gifted you, or what do you see, or what keeps you going to empowering young people?
I can honestly say, my grandmother and my mother and them were very strict. Now, nowadays we know that wasn't all the way right, but one thing I can say is they were present. And for me, with the young people, there's a lot of things going on. Now, I'm not an expert. I'm talking off of my experience. I have an excellent relationship with my daughter. I'm just talking about what worked for me, right? The first thing I can say about that is you have to establish a relationship and trust. If you don't have a relationship and trust with these young people, they don't care who you are. You're not going to be able, they might cuss you out because that's how much they're disconnected from you, right? The second thing I can say is questions. Ask plenty of questions. If they say, I'm okay, keep asking. Because just like us, sometimes we don't know how to articulate ourselves. And one of my biggest pet peeves is when we ask and require our children to do things adults struggle doing, right? So ask questions. And then thirdly, give grace. We are not, look, some days are better than others with me. You might get the holy one. You might get the I'll run up on you. And that is the truth. That is the truth. So while we expect our kids, right. So while we expect these young people to go and deal with all of these dynamics, they may have teachers that don't like young people. They might have no one at home. They might have no friends. And then they come in your presence and all you got to do is point your finger. It's like, no. What we want to do is establish trust in a relationship, ask questions, and grace. And if you could just start with those three, you will open doors because they will tell you all the tea once you get in there.
Right.
We'll be happy to tell it to you. Yeah. A lot of times they know what they want to do. They just need a little guidance. That's even with me. I'm 49. I have my cousin. We talk every day. She's my sounding board. Sometimes I need to just bounce things off of her. Well, why not so much more for our children that are trying to figure out the things we done already messed up?
Right. And go ahead, Dr.
Oh, okay. So, listen, you doing a lot. I know how heavy things can get.
Yes.
What's that song? I forget. And he said, when I get behind closed doors. Yeah. So you see a certain person outside, right? But when you get home behind those closed doors. So one, I want to know, how do you take it all off? And then how do you fill yourself back up so that you can do it all over again?
Honestly, that is one and the same answer. And that has to be my Jesus Christ, my Lord. I praise and worship at church every Sunday. I'm first on the order of service, so I'm still ministering and dance, first of all. And secondly, my devotion is everything. If I don't get up and get on my knees or go home after that day and get on my knees and give it to God, you won't be able to deal with me because then it's me. So I'm taking off of me and pouring in him. And I ain't going to act like I got it right every day because I don't. But I'm aware. I'm aware. And when I mess it up, I fix it quickly because accountability is everything as well. If you can't say you sorry, I don't want to go to the store with you.
I feel you. I feel you.
She said, I don't want to go to the store.
I feel you.
I love that.
But as much for those of us that pour out, though, I think mental awareness, mental health, and rest is very big. We run, We run well, but we don't rest well. And even the Bible told you to rest. And that rest, it makes all the difference in your running, right? So just as dogmatic as we get about, we got to go make this money, when God say sit down, because if you don't, I had a stroke and a heart attack. He made me sit down. Oh yeah, that's a whole nother show. But he made me sit down. So I understand the value of mental health and resting.
Yes. And you know, when you say that, I always use the whole Mary and Martha analogy. And so, you know, I'm like, you know, I've done this and I've done that. So I've been Mary, I've been Martha.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that people need to know how to find that balance.
You do.
Sure.
And I think it's a mixed bag, right? This is life. We like to say life be lifing. And with that, you should have a bag of tools. No one thing works.
Right.
It never does.
Yeah.
So you have to have a bag of tools, and you may give me a hammer. You may give me a measuring tape, you know, but you also have to be open to receive from people, because if you know it all, then do you.
Yeah.
But nobody knows it all, so there's that.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And you just opened the door, but you would not know that you are recovering from, you know, a stroke or a heart attack. But you still give, and you still, you know, a lot of us, minor things set us back. We sprang an eyelash, and we out the game for, you know, 3 or 4 years. I mean, seriously, you know, we find the most minimum things that keep us from doing it. So how do you, along with Doc V, this recovery and being down, how did you get back into your service and into that?
You can't regret anything. Someone once told me, if you're going to love, you got to love like you've never been hurt. And I believe you have to do that in all things. If you're going to put yourself present and in that, then do it to the best of your ability. Yes, it happened. Yes, I got dogged out. Yes, I got trauma. Yes, I'm triggered to all of that. But not so much so where I can't be used. We got to still stay soft. I like to say I'm a coachable and teachable woman, because they like to say at a certain age, you can't do that with a woman, right? But I intentionally stay coachable and teachable, because I don't know everything.
Right.
But at the same time, if I regret, then that causes me to shut down. Then I'm angry. Then I'm bitter. And then when God is saying, hey, give that blessing, I can't even hear him. So for me, it's really just not regretting anything and just acting like I've never been hurt. And that's not easy to do.
And she's an excellent person at that, because, like I said, I know her backstory, and it's just mind blowing how she has done that and just keeps going. Just from being a little kid, just knowing her as a little kid and her story that happened it's amazing. Her bounce back is out of this world.
It sounds like we need to have you back so we can get into that backstory.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of it there.
Because sometimes that's what makes the difference in
It
people's
is.
lives. When
It
they hear
is.
that testimony.
Yeah.
And not just a testimony.
Right.
But one that they can really relate to, and somebody is being transparent and say,
open book,
and then
book.
we can see you, and
Yeah.
we can feel
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
passion.
Yeah.
You can feel
Yeah.
it.
I'm
Now,
telling you.
so you said, what'd you say about your husband? A husband? You said, I don't have a husband.
No, I don't. I don't have one.
And I was just getting ready to say now, because you sound so strong.
Yes.
You
Super
sound
strong. Yes.
super,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
independent. Is that true? Is that right?
It is true, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like that the nights don't get lonely and that I don't have my days where I'm really sad because I don't have anybody to love. But you know what I found out? It's better to be by yourself than to compromise and deal with the drama and the toxicity and messing up somebody else. So it takes maturity and emotional intelligence and emotional maturity to be like, you know what? I'm going to sit this one out because I still got some things I need to work on. Thank you, but no thank you. Maybe later.
Okay.
Yeah, that is so true.
It really is.
Yeah, and being a person that's on a go sometimes, you know, like you say, you got to sit out because you can't commit to that. You know, it's not just in, you know, romantic relationships. I have to do that with people now because I'm so involved in a lot of different things that I cannot commit.
That's right.
So I'm not even going to tell you
That's right.
that I'm going to commit to this or I'll get involved in this because you don't have the time, you don't have the window.
That's
and
right.
your energy, you know, is sparing that
That's
you
right.
really. So that takes maturity
It
too to
does.
know that you
It
can't
does.
do it all
It
because
does.
you know, I've been that kind of person that tried to do it all, but now I'm like, no, I can't do that. You know, I know right now it's a whole sentence to
Yeah,
me.
with
no.
age comes wisdom, for sure.
Yeah, but we've talked about all the seriousness, but you mentioned some things you do and the dancing. Let's talk about some fun things that you do. Give us some background about your dancing and where you can be seen, what you do, if you're training, if you're teaching.
Oh gosh,
give us some.
Well, I'm like a line dancer. I like to do that thing, but my love comes from I grew up dancing in church, praise dancing, and then when I had a daughter, it was so beautiful because she dances as well, so we were able to minister together. So I flag dance and mime dance every Sunday at my church, Cathedral of Praise. I love you, Apostle Underwood, Granddad. That's where I'm at on Sundays, and then sometimes I'm invited to churches to dance at events, funerals, just special things. Now I'm more of a spiritual dancer. I have done secular stuff, and I'm learning to be more comfortable with that because I do understand I have a marketplace anointing where God will put me in places that are not always so holy and spiritual, right? But that dancing, when you talk about being grounded and just finding your way back to who you are. I don't care. I can be having the worst week. And when I get there and I'm able to just lay myself before God and just be open and vulnerable and don't care what I look like. And it's ugly. I don't look like I come cute. I don't know what I look like when I leave now. I'm telling you. But it's something about that connect that I feel like a whole new person when I come out of that atmosphere. And I try to stay high. I tell people all the time, have intentionally good days and vibrate high intentionally. What that means is picking and choosing your battles.
Right.
It's not good to do a lot of things good. It's great to do a few things in excellence.
Right.
That means some things you might do it well, but it's not your thing. Let it go.
Yes.
Stay in your wheelhouse. I'm getting goosebumps as I'm talking to you because I feel like as adults, we overstimulate ourselves.
Yes.
You can't help everybody if you're not helping you.
Amen.
And that was my problem. When I finally got down and was like, Lord, why am I empty? And why am I feeling like this? He was simply like, you have a gift, but you're not asking permission. I'm out there helping this person. They treating me any kind of way, stepping on me, slanging me. And I'm like, you know what, Jesus, I don't want to do this no more.
Right.
And he like, but you still got to ask permission. Can I? Am I supposed to? Because guess what? Sometimes it's a no. He helping them. You ain't no little Jesus. You might think you is. We ain't no little Jesuses.
Get out the way.
Get out the way.
That's
Get
right.
out your own
That's
way.
what I was going to
That's
say.
what
So
it
get out of
is.
your own way, but sometimes what you just said, sometimes you are overstepping your boundaries.
That's right.
Yeah, God has you in
That's
place
right.
to help
That's
your brother,
right.
your sister.
That's right.
But sometimes when you go overboard,
That's
now you in
right.
his way.
Yeah.
So
And thank you
get
for
out his
saying
way.
that I show so much resilience because I'm going to be honest. I do a lot of work in the background. When I lay on my face, I tell myself every day, you dirt. Because only God's blood makes. We have to humble ourselves sometimes. When you beautiful, you multi-talented, people always speaking highly of you. That's great. But who are you at night when nobody's
That's what I'm
looking?
saying.
When ain't
When you
nobody
get
paying no
home
attention to you?
behind them,
When ain't nobody called that phone and see how who are you then?
That's right.
That. And I have baby bought a house right there. So when I'm projecting and when I'm telling you, it's only because I've walked it out. I got the scars, and I am still in the process.
Of the healing. Huh?
All every day.
I got it.
Her story, that backstory,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, we gonna have to have you back for that backstory. But you know, in your dancing, you say at Cathedral of Praise. Do you have like a team? Do you mentor young people?
I do.
Tell us about your praise dancing.
I worked with Dazzling Diamonds. It was a girls group before. She wanted Coach Lanny wanted a praise dancer coach. They do more majorette. Now my daughter's very talented. Majoretting was not something I got into. I didn't care for the clothes and the movements. And I have a little girl. And she's already thick, so I was like, okay, we can dance, but we ain't gonna do that. So I kind of got into it. I was already into it when my daughter got older, and then once my daughter got older, my church was doing it. Then people were looking for people to be over their groups. So I kind of got off into. There's a poem. Thank you, Lord. It's this month is Black History Month. It's called "You So Black." And when I first started working with her, she wanted me to make up a mime for that, and that is the most powerful thing I have ever done because it connected the girls to their skin color and to who they are. And to see that manifest on them girls as I was teaching it, as they was doing it, it was everything. So I do still mentor and I do still work with people, but I don't do everything. I'm learning to pray about it first.
There you
I
go.
can't help everybody and I can't be involved in it because I have to protect this.
Right.
You're not supposed to help
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, I have to protect this. So I do that, and I love when people contact me. I'm more likely to do things for young kids, but I do understand I can't do all things. So
Yeah, I understand. Man, your story is an amazing story. And go ahead, Dr. V.
I was just going to say, so dancing, but she said so many things. So I want to just peel back a couple more things. So you have a cleaning company.
I do residential and commercial cleaning. I also do what's called event management. Some people put events on, and they need help with that. The day of is usually pretty big. Like I've done weddings where I come in literally the day of the wedding. I have nothing to do with none of the rest of it. I just come in and do my thing the day of. So that's been a real big thing for me. The commercial cleaning I want to get into. Now I have a medical assisting degree and medication degree, so now I want to get into going out of town trips or staying here when other people go out of town and taking care of sick family, right? Because then you get off into medications and caring for people with medical issues. So I'm getting ready to open that door in my business because really anything where I ain't got to work for nobody else, Miss V, I'm trying to do it. I'll wash your car if you're paying.
I'm with you. Me too. Oh my goodness.
You.
You know, I wish I knew when to clock some tea and do all that stuff, but I
told you
don't.
stop.
But okay, stop. But I feel like right now, me and her clocking something.
We
I
some
don't know
clocking
what
some
we gonna
tea.
do.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're doing. I'm doing that.
So, but for your cleaning business and anything else that you have going on that you can help people, give the people how they can contact you, how they can find you, and anything such as that.
Well, I'm going to do what I've never done. I'm just going to give a phone number. I do have a Facebook page. It's YinikiSomethingUnique. I am on Facebook. My personal business telephone number is 260-702-6215. I know people are probably like, I know she didn't just do that. I did. Jesus got the wheel. Not worried about it. But please contact me personally. I like to do consultations again. My business is very customized to people's needs. So everybody is different.
Right.
And then God does tell me sometimes to gift the gift. Like I don't always have to get paid. I don't chase money. I don't believe in that. Not saying I'm doing nothing for free though, because you know that's how people make money in their business. But it is a faith-based business. So it is definitely not about me. So please contact me. I also am usually out and about in the city. So if you see me out, stop me. I love having that first initial contact where it's a face-to-face, especially in this media type world. So yeah, just contact me.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
There you go. There you go. Now, we are going to have to find a way to get you back to get that whole story because sometimes, like I say, not only do we gatekeep our ways of success, we don't tell people of our ways of overcoming. And there's a lot of young people, a lot of our age people. There's a lot of people, period, that need help in that overcoming.
Yes.
In that I've been there, now I'm here. So with that being said, there's a young person, there's a person that's having a health crisis, there's a person that wants to start a business, whatever, as you say, you're led in your heart to reach out and tell somebody and touch somebody, to tell them whatever is on your heart, to tell them. Just speak to the camera and give somebody some inspiration.
I would like to say, please find someone. I think in my life, I did a lot of things on my own and thought I was the only one experiencing things. So I would say the biggest part is find someone you can trust and that will step into that situation with you. And don't be surprised at who it may be. Sometimes it's the least likely person is the one that actually will step into that situation and be that Jonathan and take you to that next level. So my advice is please find someone to step into that situation with that you can trust, and then be vulnerable and humble. Open up yourself so that they can step in and do whatever it is that you need done or lead you to the people that you need to be led to.
So good.
Yeah, so good. Yeah. So much wisdom. There has to be a story because, you know, through life comes wisdom, through age comes wisdom. And, you know, your story, it would be good. And maybe you should put it in writing or something too, you know.
I thought about maybe having my daughter write some, because you wouldn't believe it.
It doesn't have
Some
to
of
be a
the
book,
stuff
but
you
just,
like,
just
we won't
you know,
believe the story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
It is. It's crazy.
Oh, my
But
goodness.
for her to be where she is now, still
From that story you saying.
man, listen, wow, that you need to come back and tell that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to know.
We want to know.
I want to know.
Y'all want to know.
Yeah.
We want to know.
Because I feel like it will bless
It would.
Somebody.
It
Oh,
would.
it will.
You know.
But that's the
Somebody.
reason why we go through stuff. Our test is our testimony.
That's
He
it.
just ain't doing it. You know what I
Right.
mean? Got to pull somebody else out of it.
And you are under awesome leadership.
Yeah.
And let me just say that matters.
Yeah.
And so that's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
So I'm so
Thank
happy
you.
to have you here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we want to thank you all for joining us. So thank you again, Dr. Yiniki, and
Yeah,
we'll
been a
find the
pleasure.
time for you to get back on here. But Doc V, before we leave the people, what do we always say?
Man, always protect your minds.
A podcast by Neutral Voices Media Group. In the Know.